Well, here is what the Blooming Petals project looks like right now. I have 5 of the squares finished. I'm fixing to work on the 6th one, and I believe that is where I'm going to hold it. And I'm going to make a longer, well, it may not be too much longer than it is wide because I'm going to put a center in it, but this is going to be a wall hanging, and 6 is what I'm going to work with on this one. And so anyway, this is what it's looking like so far, and this one is the last one, and it will be right in there, okay? Something like that. All right, I don't know whether I want it here or here, but I think it will be here. I think that will be a good placement for all of those, okay? So let's work. Remember that all of these flowers are made from scraps from old scarves, okay? Let's put those up. Now, this one is the one I'm working on right now. And I'm ready to start sewing on it. So I have the loose threads here for the center, and I'm just going to start couching those threads down. Excuse me, allergies taking over again. Getting these threads fastened down. Okay. I'm using a green because that makes sense to me. There's green in the flower, and there'd be some green in the center of a flower too. So I'm just going to throw some green thread in here. Get a few stitches down, then I can take out the pins and make it easier to work with. And I'm just folding in some of the looser threads, tucking them down. Couple more, and I think we can take out the pin. Take this one down. Okay, let's take the 2 pins out that are basically holding that center. There we go. Yeah, that's much easier to work with. Now I'm going to work my way around the edges a little bit. You notice that it's not a perfectly round. It's kind of got that to me looks more natural. Sometimes centers are very, very round, and sometimes they're not. So let's see here. There we go. I said everything here is, all this pink fabric is a scarf. Everything comes off of one scarf except for this little fabric here. This was some scraps I had, and I just had some silver threads in it, and this was a scrap I had too. So I just use those whites to give me some diversity in there. Check that blue under there. Whatever color you choose to use, if it's multicolored like this, it's going to work in. So whatever color that you choose to use, it's not critical to sew with on something like this. Now we'll be pickier about the color I use when I go to my petals. I'm thinking, of course, to use some pink, and but then also some of that tangerine yellow color out there, if I've got it, I think would be pretty. Okay, you can begin to see how well or how much more you've got to do, because your threads begin to start looking tamed, you might say, and not necessarily all just flat, but tamed, and nothing going to come apart or get snagged. On a wall hanging, it doesn't have to be as secure as if it were going on something you were going to use, like a pillow cover, or you know, something, or maybe you're going to put on a front of a tote or something like that, something that you're going to use, in other words, or a quilt. Make a pretty quilt pattern. But it would definitely have to be sewn well if you intend to use it. So many people, including myself, don't necessarily use quilts to cover with. They use them a lot of times for decoration. Okay, got one more little thread here that doesn't seem to have a place to live. Let's get him down. There you go. That works. All right, I think that's enough. Let's tie it off. Put that thread in our bucket to see another day. Okay. All right. Now, we need some thread. I said I wanted to find a tangerine yellow if I could. Let's see. None of that qualifies. Let's see. Tangerine yellow may be a very elusive color. This is a yellow, and you know, we might use it. We'll take it out there and audition it. can't find exactly what I want. I've got oranges and I've got yellows, but a tangerine doesn't seem to be here. Nope. So that one's going to be the elected one. Okay. Then let's see about pink. That looks like a bold pink. Let's try those two colors. Thinking about doing these two in the tangerine. And then these two in this color. And the other two in this color. 2, 4, 6, 2 in each color. We'll just see how that one runs out, or works out, not runs out. Let's see. I'm going to be just overcasting these. I don't know how easy this fabric frays, so we'll just take care of it by doing a small overcast stitch on it. Okay. It's a pretty color, and it is right on, actually. I don't know what I was worried about. That is perfect. I guess your tangerine, I just didn't recognize it. No, it's more orange. He doesn't have as red a cast, but it's just a pretty color. Okay, let's get it straight here. Get a knot in the end of it. And see what happens when we start using it. Let's come over here on the edge. Maybe catch this way. Can see what I'm doing better. I'm really thrilled that I'm getting close to having this one done. I'm fixing to finish up my strips and strings quilt. Then, as you know, I finished the circles and swirls. And what was the other one I finished? Oh, I can't think of it right now. But anyway, I've got several finished. My husband is working on some hangers for me so I can start positioning on my wall. As I said in another video, I want to make a gallery out of my living room walls. And so I've got one big wall that I can start placing quilts on. My landscape quilt will be probably the focal point of that wall, but I am just, you know, in early stages of that quilt. I haven't worked on it one in a while. I've got to get back to that one. And as you can see, I'm just making small overcast stitches on that. really works in on that petal that has that color on it really well. Another thing I like about embroidery floss is that once you have accumulated quite a library of colors, you pretty much have a color that's going to match anything you want it to match, and that is really nice. All right, we're going to come across now. We're going to pick up on this one. And using 2 strands, it goes a long way. It's, you know, it's strong, and yet it goes a long way. Nothing is cheap anymore, so no matter what kind of threads you decide to work with. It's, you know, going to cost something. You often find embroidery floss, though, in yard sales and op shops and thrift stores and places like that, because people get into crafts and then they don't stay in it, and then they get rid of them. Okay, that's looking pretty, isn't it? It really shows up on that pink nicely. Gives a nice contrast. A little splash of color without being too obvious. May go ahead and do the little center petal also in this color, because it's just looking pretty. Looking nice, looking nice. Okay, I think I will do that. Let's see, I stuck that under there. How's that? I think I will. Let's go ahead and try that. Oops, almost pulled my thread out. Take that pin out. Okay, all right. How's that looking? Looks pretty good? I think so. All right, I'm gonna stitch this off camera. I'll come back and show you how it looks when I'm done and when I'm ready to start attaching it, okay? Until next time, let's keep those flowers blooming, all right? So what's happening to the Blooming Petals quilted wall hanging? Well, I have 2 strips with 3 blocks each, so that is 6 of the Blooming Petal squares, all right? And I've decided to make this one vertical. And so what I did was then I took a strip, it was about 3 inches wide. I covered that batting with this fabric right here. And then I put lace over that. And then I put a row of these blue rosettes over that. Can you see that? Okay. Then I put my sashing down there to connect all of that. So now I'm down to the point where I'm going to put a backing and a casing on this. All right. By the way, this was my last flower that I made. All right. All of these are scarf fabrics, except the sashing is a quilting cotton. And I'm going to back it with this. I have this remnant piece of this, and I'm going to back it with this. And then I'm going to put the sashing outside, not sashing, but binding on with this, okay? So that's what I'm going to do. Everything is put together and joined like all my quilts are, all these squares. And when I get that done, I'm going to quilt down the center of my sashing rows in order to attach the front to the back, okay? All right, and then that will be a finished wall hanging. Let me give you some dimensions here. It's right at 17 inches. By 19 inches. All right. So it'll be vertical, hung vertically. Then I will put a little thing on the back so that I can run something through it and hang it, a casing, that's what you call it. All right, I love it. It's very colorful, it's pretty, very doable. Be a pretty, pretty piece hung in the home, okay? All right. Hang on until I get it finished and I will bring it back to you. Getting to the finishing stages of this wall hanging. You can see that I am starting the binding here. I'm hand sewing it down on this edge right here. All right. And I have turned it over and turned the casing under. And I am sewing it on down here like this, all right? And I will be doing that all the way around. Now, there's nothing fancy on the back. I simply, as I said, quilted down the center of the sashings to stitch down that to make sure that I got a good bond between the little quilt top and the backing. And then the binding here will be all the way around, and that will finish off that really pretty. I didn't worry about hiding knots or threads because this is going on the wall, and you know, the back's never going to be seen in that sense. So I'm not spending a lot of time hiding stuff or worrying about what color that would be showing up on the back either. When it comes to a wall hanging, I'm just, you know, perfectly imperfect is perfect for me. I don't want to sweat all that stuff that really isn't necessary. But that is what the front casing will look like with that blue fabric that I showed you earlier. I think that's looking very nice and sharp. I think that's going to be very pretty. Okay, it looks really good against the color, and while it's colorful, it's not detracting from the color of these flowers at all. Okay, and it complements this blue section in the middle. So I'm happy with all of that, and I will be finishing this up, and this will be another one that hopefully we will get hung, start hanging these pretty soon. And when I start on my gallery wall, I will definitely be taking a video of that and showing you how that's working out. It'll take a while to fill up the wall because pretty good size wall, but at least this will be the third thing that I have to have ready that will hang, so that's exciting me. And when I finish this one, I will finish my little owl quilt wall hanging, and then after that I will go back to my landscape, which is going to be the most labor intensive quilt that I'm making, wall hanging quilt that I'm making, and I will be working on that one for a while and trying to get it further along. It's going to be pretty good sized, and if you watch the landscaping video playlist, you see that it's very creative, but it's going to definitely take me more time. I'll be working on it quite a bit through this spring and summer, no doubt. And then I will be making other things in between to keep you guys inspired. Keep myself inspired too. And but I'm loving all my things. Of course, y'all know that. I love all my things. And I hope you love all your things too. And just create out of your soul, out of the heart of you. Whatever you have, it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be the fanciest, the prettiest, the best. Whatever you have, create something original that you fall in love with. Okay? Be creative. A couple people said, I don't have a lot of pretty colored fabrics and things like that. But we can eco dye. We can dye with fruits and vegetables. If we can watercolor, if we have that. We can use crayons and color and then iron those and set those colors. There's so many things that we can use to add some color to fabrics. And these are old, using old fabrics, thrifted fabrics, old clothes, whatever you want to do. Just be creative and figure out a way to splash some color in there with things that you already have. Don't forget your yarns and your ribbons and anything like that you might have, okay? Just be creative. Do your own thing with what you have and love it because it's coming right out of the soul of you. All right, till next time. Well, we're all going to stay very scrap happy, and I'm going to finish blooming these petals. Till next time, this is Linda.